I'd like to first say that I'm extremely proud of my team for earning the 4th seed in the NCAAs this year. We had a bunch of challenges with injuries early in the season. We had a very tough Big Ten schedule in terms of travel and competition with what we had, and I'm very proud of what they've accomplished. I'm proud of what they've done in terms of changing the things we've asked to change and grow into the season. I think this is the most exciting part of the year, and the conversation we've been having is that it's a whole new season. We're excited that a lot of the games that we played in the Big Ten have prepared us for this. We are excited to play Western Michigan here on Friday at 7 o'clock. Very well-coached team, very good team, very successful team. They have several good players that are dangerous attacking-wise that we're going to have to deal with. Again, I think our preparation against the Washingtons, the Iowas of those guys in the world will help us in this game. But as everyone knows, the postseason, every moment matters, every detail matters, and we will be prepared for that, and that's what we're focusing on this week in practice.
With Western Michigan, you're mentioning some of their strengths, but what in particular makes them kind of such a challenging first half?
I think the first thing is that they are so competitive. They bring a physical element to the game. It is going to be a challenge in that way that we have to match their energy and their physicality. I think that's something that Washington and Iowa did show us, and so I think we've learned from those games to be able to do that. I think defensively, they have a very good idea of what they're trying to do and how they press and what they're trying to do and push us in different areas, and we're going to have to be prepared for that. They're very good on set pieces. They're organized. They have some major threats and very good service with that, so we're going to be focused on that. And in terms of just athleticism, they have a chance to get behind us, and we've got to be focused on those things. Again, I believe teams in the Big Ten have prepared us for that, and so we're going to sort of hope that some of our experience with that will help us in this game.
Coach, it seems like some teams' coaches' fan bases were upset with the seedings in the tournament this year. That might be the case every year, but how do you feel about the draw for your team and just the way that region of the bracket shook out?
As I told the team, the first thing is that anytime you get a 4th seed in the NCAA tournament, that's amazing. I think where our RPI was and what our seeding was showed us that some of the wins that we got against the UCLAs and Iowas and that kind of boosted us a little bit more. If you look at Western Michigan's RPI, they're extremely high as well. So anybody who's gotten the NCAA this time is a good team. Where you're seeded, I think you have to play good teams to move on to the next round. And I think seeding only just gives you some framework, but at the end of the day, it's all good teams, and every game's going to matter. And as you say, just what they think with March Madness, there's upsets as you go along here. So I think seeding is something. I think it's a kind of a recognition of what you did all season, but now this is what gives you the opportunity to go for a national championship.
Where do you feel like you've seen this team grow the most during? You were mentioning kind of how the Big Ten has prepared you well. Kind of where have you seen the most growth during that?
I think tactically, I think we've asked them to do some things in the attacking third, and with some of the ideas that we're trying to do, they've really kind of grasped onto those and gone with them. And our spacing has gotten better, which has caused some teams some problems. So I think that work rate and that spacing is something that we've really grown with, and I'm excited where we are moving forward in the next couple games.
Coach, you talked a lot about Western Michigan and what they have to bring, on Friday and their physicality and things like that. What are some of the key elements for you guys to advance on Friday?
I think one of the biggest things is that we want to impose ourselves offensively. We need to be able to work the ball a little bit and possess a little bit to move it around a little bit. I think in some games we've gotten a little bit direct, and we want to be able to open up the field a little bit more by doing some of that. I think the spacing is really going to help with that. I think what we've learned from the previous games is that our spacing has allowed us not to have to always be direct as what we're trying to do. And so I think that's something that we want to do. I think we have to be really good in the final third. Credit again to Western Michigan. They defend really well as a group. They don't give up many goals, and so we have to find different ways to do that. I think we've found that. I think Addie Bohr is doing a really good job for us right now, creating those opportunities and finishing those opportunities. That in terms of, Brooke Allen came into the season, and she's just grown every single game. And I think, at the end of the Washington game, we saw a whole new level for her. So I think that final third stuff's going to be really important for us. But we now have found kind of our identity. We found our identity early in the season, but I think now the attacking identity has come out a little bit more.
Any other questions for Coach?
Yeah, Coach, you talked about Addie, and obviously she had a big performance in the Big Ten tournament. So, what do you think she's improved on here late in the season to be able to be that difference maker that you might need here in the rest of the postseason?
I think Addie's decision making has been better. Her movement has been fantastic. I think the one thing we don't give our forwards enough credit for is her defending. She's gotten pressure on the ball. She's gotten the other team to turn the ball over early, higher up on the field. She's done a great job, but I think there's the biggest thing about her. She has a belief about what she can do. She scored a great goal against UCLA, against Colorado. She has that ability, and so I think for her, it's her work rate has just hit a whole different level. But just that, I think she's seen the game a little bit quicker, and that's enabled her to create opportunities for others and for herself.